So moving on then from the oven, look, the oven's now soon getting hot. What we've done now though, we're going to turn that down. We've got that open. It's now on heating mode. This is what we're looking at. Look, that's just, oh, that's too hot now to even touch. Let's open it up. Look, I've gone from about 4, 5 up to full. That's open full. The air's going in the side there now. It's sucking itself in there. It's sucking itself in the spinner. We've got it more on heating mode. Sorry you couldn't see it then. And we're looking at the system now. Forget the oven, because the oven does what it does. So now we're looking at what goes up, what makes heat, what spins. See if I can get some air for it. Let's got a bit of light there. So flow at the top from the Rayburn, return at the bottom. Here it comes. Look, let's have a look again. There it is down the side there. Look, there's your pipes for those that have got water jackets on the Rayburn. Flow at the top, return at the bottom. Hot water comes through. All systems are different. This is what you've got to respect. They're all laid out different. Mine comes straight up there, through the zone valve, in the cylinder. That's for the hot water. That's controlled by a cylinder stat. When that says it's hot enough, it closes that valve. That's normally open, that valve. Has to be normally open. So if there's a power cut, it'll open. And that lets gravity move it. Back to the flow. Goes up that way. Also goes up this way. Up through this stat. Now this stat says, I've turned it up just to get the water right, I'm hot enough for the pump. Okay. I normally have it down here at 50. Now it's hot enough. So the pumps come on. Here's my pump at the top. So the pumps just come on. It's the right arm. The right hand there's the flow. This one's the flow. Gravity goes up in the loft, goes up above the feed and expansion. The middle one's the return. It comes back from the loft. But if needed, it links across. The flow goes across and it returns on a return pumped pipe work. Here it comes, down and down. There's 3 pipes, you see. Down to the bottom. That jumps across here. There's a tongue T, and then that goes back into the return of the Rayburn. So your pumps come on. It's hit the stat, it's over the stat temperature. What happens next? Your pump comes on. So there it is, pumping around your system. It also gives a bit more oomph to the gravity side because it's pulling on the return. That's how mine works. Look at this pipe at the back. See the back one goes off there. Now that is rising up. It's gravity from the flow. Nothing to do with the pump. That goes up there and it returns at the bottom. Now where that is, right next to the cylinder, is a radiator. There it is there. If we can quite see, look. And that flow comes through the cupboard, rising into the rad at the top, falling back into the cupboard. Just a lock shield, that's the only thing on there. No control. Comes back round the bottom there, back into the Rayburn. That's always on. The cylinder, it's always on. Unless the temperature stat says I'm hot enough, and that will shut that. Then all you've got is the water going up the flow, which is gravity as such. It goes up through the loft, comes back down again, goes in the Rayburn. When it says it's hot enough, the pump comes on. There it is on, and then that's going to the other 10 rads I've got in the bungalow. Now they move. They don't go up and down the pipe work, it goes left to right, so the pump takes that heat across the house. Now that was hotter. Because the pumps come on, the return water from the radiators is obviously cooler than the flow. So once your pump comes on, your water temperature for a while is going to cool down. Until it's been running long enough, could be a few hours, and it makes the hot flow and the return equal out. You should be sitting somewhere about 50 return and about 70 flow. 20 degrees different averagely. If you can achieve that, your house will be warm. Depends how many radiators you got. All systems are different, like we said at the start. Your hot water will be hot. Your heating will be hot. If you turn your stat up and down, adjust it to suit your own property. Now manual, these stats are, it's not an automatic. It's nothing to do with system controls and thermostats where you can just walk out and leave it. It's a fire. You have to build the fire yourself. You have to adjust it. Now if you want to, click and it's gone off. That's turned the pump off. That's going to increase the temperature actually in the Rayburn itself, because it's not using any heat. It's not sending any water anywhere else. So all it's going to do is start to boil. It's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. Now what happens there is the gravity in the water takes that up, boom, up, round, because I've got some rads in the loft, down again, back to the Rayburn. It's its own circuit. All that's going to do now is circulate. The oven will get hotter. It's another way to get your oven hotter. If you've got water on and you turn it off, your oven will take the heat. That's where people who have just got the 2 series, which are just ovens, you put coal in and the only thing that happens is the oven heats up. This has got a bi-circuit. This takes heat away from the oven because it's putting it around the radiators through the water. So to get the 2 running properly, you've got to balance them out. Get your stat running right, get your heat running right, get your fire running right. That sits at 50. Let's come out of the cupboard. That's just on. That's just working. That's just doing what it does. There's your system. Happy Rayburning.